Hello everyone. Actually, today's class is a little bit mismanaged. Actually, I'm having two guys who actually read offline. I have planned for them today, but I don't know how I forgot that. So after this class, I'll be taking that class. Today I have planned for two more indicators. If time permits, we'll be going for another one also. As we have already discussed about stochastics, that was also a momentum indicator. So I thought to go for relative strength index, that is RSI, the one which is being frequently used by many traders, so that you can compare both these and let you know that what exactly happens. Just a minute. Okay, okay. Whenever I answer to a chart, I should read the question so that it will be clear. So today we'll be covering RSI and on balance volume. So RSI, if you're trading from 1 year or year of or even 6 months before you have started trading, that you might be heard about RSI. It's actually very popular among intraday traders. But I myself do not consider it that much effective. But still, being an intraday trader would be useful. So, moving to RSI, RSI is relative strength index. It is, again, as said, it's a momentum indicator. Yes, it also we studied a momentum indicator, that is stochastics. As said, this momentum indicator is used by a lot of intraday traders. But the problem is sometimes you get stuck into the wrong position if you do not use it properly. And as said, it's also a very famous indicator. RSI is almost similar. Yesterday also Rajesh sir said that it's exactly the plotting, the implementation part is exactly similar. But if you are not aware of the mathematics behind that, this both might look similar. And as I said in my starting class of indicator, it is up to you which indicators you're going to use. So as today after RSI, we will be covering two indicators, two momentum indicators, that is stochastics and RSI. So after that, it's up to you which one you will be using. These are all these strategies which day by day you will be developing. Now coming to RSI indicator. RSI, the first one to say is it's used for two things, that is to know the overbought and oversold, to know the region of overbought and oversold and to trade according to that. What I want to discuss today is the most important part is when to ignore an RSI, because we know how to trade using that because it is almost equal to stochastics. But when to ignore, this part is very important. Now, starting from as we start, it's being developed by Wilder, a person named Wilder. His name is I think spelling which I am writing is correct or not, I don't know. Wells Wilder or Wilder. He has developed this indicator. Now coming to the calculation behind this, After knowing this calculation, you will be able to find that yes, why stochastics is showing a different overbought region and why RSI is showing a different calculation. In the calculation itself, firstly, the first factor which is involved in calculating RSI is RS. RS is equal to average gain by average loss. So here we can see it is taking two things into consideration: the average gain and average loss. Now coming to average gain is something, uh, it's actually the addition, the sum of the gain over n period, the period which we have taken. So it takes that. And the second one is average loss. It's not the loss and gain we made, it's the upward movement and the downward movement of the n period. Is the sum of losses over n period again. You can write all these things, may not be required if you are willing to trade, but if you are trying, and after this course being completed, if you are at least if you are thinking of developing your own advisory farm, these all are will be helpful. Sorry. So for example, let's just take a period of suppose think a period of 10 days, and think that the stock has gained over the past for 10 periods continuously. So we will be not having any average loss in that. So obviously in that case, the RSI is going to be really high because the stock is continuously in upward trend. We are only getting the average gain from that. As and you could find that there is no denominator in this case. So now, and if the stock is continuously in downtrend, you will be finding only we are getting the average loss, we are not getting the other one. So from here we got two situations, and that to be two situations which are two extreme situations. When there are only average gain, the first one, I'm describing now the two situations. So what will happen in that case, that is RS is equal to positive, the opponent will be positive, definitely will be getting the first situation when the stock is in upward momentum, and there will be no loss, that is zero, so which is equal to infinity. So let me take this as equation 3. So here RS. Now coming to the second, when there is only average loss, so in that case RS is equal to the opponent be 0 and this one would be a positive number, and you will be getting 0. So these are the two extreme conditions which we get. So there are two extremes which we can say is from 0 to infinity. Now coming to the main RSI formula, here you can see RSI, that is relative strength index. What it says is equal to 100 minus 100, which is divided by 1 plus RS, which we calculated. Now see what exactly is happening over here. Now let's apply the two situations in this RSI formula where we calculated the value of RS. Now applying the first scenario, the infinity one, that is 100 minus 100 by 1 plus infinity. I exactly do not remember the maths which we have studied. I think we have known that when something is in the denominator, when infinity in denominator is cancelled out and the result comes to be now this part is 0, and now 100 minus 0 would be 100. So when there is average gain, we'll be getting RSI as 100 in case of average gain. Now coming to the scenario 2, what we'll be getting here is it will be 1 plus 0. You could remember that we have calculated the RS first. So here RS we put as 0, putting the second equation. So in this case, we'll be getting RSI as 0. So we have got two extremes. One is 100 and the other one is 0 for RSI. Now let's just go back. We'll go back a little bit and see what RSI is taking into consideration. Why we are into knowing why when to not use this. We know how to use, but when not to use, it's more important. So what RSI is taking into consideration? As said, it's average gain and average loss. So when a stock is continuously gaining from say last 10 periods or 5 periods, then there we will be seeing like there would be no average losses because it's continuously in gain, and it will be the first extreme which we have calculated. And when it is continuously making losses or it's in downward trend, it will be the other extreme. So you could find here that if at all a stock is in momentum, it will only show the same result. So from here what we conclude is, or else you can take it as a recommendation, like never to use a RSI in a momentum stock. So exactly here we come to this which I was telling, that when not to use something, when not to use this RSI is when the stock is in momentum. RSI is never to be used for longer period. If you are going to trade for a longer period and the major trend which you are seeing is an upward trend, or the major trend if which is you are seeing is a downward trend, then there is no use of using RSI for longer periods. It is a tool which is actually better to be used in intraday, but again with proper cautions taken. By taking RSI into consideration, you can trade. What I have learned from RSI is one main thing. After learning all these things, you will be trading for yourself. RSI is something which can be traded, like you can trade for yourself, for self trading. It is not for some, it is not designed for someone who is running advisory service or providing tips. Till we recommend something, it gives another signal. And even it's like continuously it would be giving a overbought region, oversold region. So it's difficult to use if you are providing a tip to someone else. Till the time you provide it, it gives another signal. By taking RSI, as for self trade, I'm telling, by taking RSI, you can quickly entry and exit your positions. That is why it is being named as a tool which is very famous for intraday. But again, you cannot enter a position totally depending on RSI. But yes, a chart might be showing a upward trend, but if RSI is showing in oversold region, it's better to exit. That is for all cousins. I mean to say, for any kind of like, not to take more risk, you can use all this in your charts. Now you can note it down. I'll be showing how to plot that and how to trade using RSI. That is quite easy. It's exactly similar to stochastics, but please note down few things. It may be a part of strategy building, which I have mentioned in my rule book, is no RSI in a either the daily chart, weekly chart, or monthly chart. As said earlier also, no RSI should be there in a longer time frame, because you could have till now that RSI is only taking as per the formula, RSI is only taking the price difference. It's only considering the price difference, that is gain and loss. So it's not even considering the highs and lows as stochastics does. In case of stochastics, you saw that the higher highs are taken for a number of periods, but here it is only taking the amount of gain and amount of loss. So the range is quite less. As indicator which follows price action from various angles, those are actually useful. Is there any audio issues? Just for as a suggestions, indicators with various is my voice audible? There is some network issues. Let me check it out.
I believe Series is back.
I think there was some network issues. Okay, am I audible now?
That's what it is.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Suresh, you're audible. However, I lost you when you were talking about the first rule, no RSI in daily, weekly, monthly charts, and after that, the trouble started probably. Yeah. Can you please start
Okay,
from
okay,
there?
okay, 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 okay. So, as a part of strategy building, I was talking about that there should not be RSI implemented on a daily chart or above that, daily, weekly, monthly chart, because that is what I was saying. Because from the formula itself, you could see RSI is something which is taking only the average gain and average losses into consideration. So it is not even taking the highs and lows for a number of periods, which stochastics does. I think someone's mic is in unmute. Okay, that is RSI, average gain and average losses. Now, I was telling that it's not even taking into consideration about the highs and lows. So another thing to mention is an indicator which follows price action from various angles. An indicator, after knowing all these formulas, you will be knowing that an indicator which follows price action from various angles, a complicated formula which takes price into consideration from different angles, are actually very useful indicators. Actually useful, because the major part in this market is the price. And when an indicator uses a wider range, the n period is wide, then definitely there would be difference in signals. Suppose you are using RSI for intraday and you are using RSI for a daily chart, then definitely there would be difference. So from experience you can say, or from, it's actually mentioned in every rule book that RSI should not be used for longer period. Now you can what I will suggest is, now you can do one thing, not now, after the class is being over, from tomorrow itself. uh, I think Nisanda suggested everyone not to trade, but what I will suggest is, as we have already covered few indicators, so not in other segments, only in cash segment, take few stocks, not few stocks, take one stock and few shares of that, 20-30 shares, minimum, bare minimum possible, and apply stochastics as well as RSI. So after applying all these things and trading using RSI and stochastics, you will be knowing exactly what I was saying. RSI won't be working in case of a daily chart. It's better to go for stochastics if you are trading for at least 2 to 3 weeks or monthly. Now let's see how a strategy is being built. Now I have laid down two momentum form indicators. As said, will be reading more momentum indicators, every kind of indicators we'll be learning, and for each types we'll be learning around 3 to 4 uh, types under that. So for the time being, we have learned two momentum indicators. One is stochastics and the other one is RSI. So being a strategy, we use stochastics on daily, weekly, monthly chart, and we do not use RSIs in these charts, but we use RSIs in intraday charts itself. So now it's totally up to you, keeping a stock for how many days and using a momentum indicator by knowing your time frame, for how many period you are going to use. It's one of my personal thought. I won't suggest anything or I won't force anything. I believe stochastics is more effective than that of RSI, because I am not that a trader which who sits in front of the system day long. So now let's come to that part where just a minute. I was talking about RSI. So here we can see how RSI is giving signals. It's exactly same. The implementation part is exactly the same. Going to any of your trading terminal and implying RSI. I have taken RSI for a 14 period. The upper ones are the overbought region and the lower this portion are the oversold region. So let's see from here. See here itself RSI shows that the stock is in overbought region, oversold region. So you can buy. So if you bought from here, you could have gained till this level, and again it came to this level. Again it signals as a oversold region. Again you can buy, but can you find this area where it is continuously showing to be in a overbought region, as because the average gains are continuously, it is continuing. So here again as stochastics, yeah, actually I have plotted in a daily chart just to show that how it's how the failure is here in case of RSIs. And you can even see how RSI fails in a daily chart. Here it was a completely downside, and at this point of time RSI suggested a overbought region, so you can sell, but it continued to this level. It did not signal to like from here itself it came. No, it's actually a success of RSI. I'm sorry, it's my mistake. So this part only it failed, and you can keep this chart and you can plot it in your its work format. This is the recent chart. You can plot it and you can see that this RSI will be continuing to move upward if this trend continues to upward movement. And in similar way here also it's showing overbought region, but the stock is in upward trend. You cannot find a area where the price came down. So this is where RSI does not work for longer time frame. So if at all you have taken any trade from here, you could have exited from here because it is showing in overbought region. But still, see the price from here it gone up to this level. Overbought is the region where the price is at maximum level. Oversold is the region when the price is at minimum level. So in oversold we are going to buy, in overbought we are going to sell. It's opposite. So let me just do one thing. I can plot, but due to the network issues, I think it would be better that if you would cooperate and you would plot it by yourself, or else you can do one thing. You can open this chart itself in any of your terminal. Yes, above 70 region, it's up to you again. As I mentioned in stochastic itself, it's up to you. You can increase this range, you can decrease this range as per your risk taking capabilities. But as per a standard, it's 20 and 80. Above 80, it signals a overbought region. Yeah, for this is the standard which is being set for every time frame, and all this will come. What I want to suggest is, if you are seeing that continuously, you have mentioned this range, this particular range too wider, and you are seeing that it's not working for you, so you can decrease that. No issues in that. In intraday you can decrease that label so that you can find a trade very sooner, but the risk is also there. The sooner you enter, and you could hit your stop loss very quickly. Both way there are risks. If you enter in a late, after the stock being moving up, then again your stop loss would be wider. Yeah, that is what exactly what Rajasthar is asking about, the period of RSI, that 14 period, 9 period RSIs, 20 period RSIs. That is to decrease the volatility. But as per suggestion, if the stock is continuously in upward trend, so there is no use of increasing the time frame, because the major trend itself is in upward trend, so it will definitely show the same thing. But if you are using in intraday, as I have seen many times in my trades, if you are using intraday, if you will be decreasing this time frame, then not to that level. Yeah, definitely. That if you mention like this RSI, you will be doing to 9, 10, 11, any period which is less than 14, you will be seeing that you will more signals will be coming. That is what I am telling. If you are trading for yourself, just buy, sell. That can be possible of any time frame, but I cannot suggest on that what exactly time frame you need to use. It will definitely come after you using by yourself and how it is being acting, because as I said, for I very rarely use RSI because I'm not a day trader. But yes, as per standard, RSI 14 also works finely in intraday. Yes, yes. This these positions, you can see, after you all starting trading from your own analysis, you will be finding you all would be changing these time frames frequently. What RSI 14 is saying, what RSI 5 is saying, and what RSI 25 is suggesting, combining all these things, you can place a trade. See, these are very small, as it's a daily chart you cannot find it, but here it was a buy signal, so you could trade for this level, and there was a little bit movement over here, so exactly here there was a downfall. You can exit from the trade here itself. But this is not an intraday chart, it's definitely a daily chart, so it took around 7 days to form this one. We can do one thing. Monday itself I suggested you try to plot RSI and stochastics and trade with using that, but do not take much of shares, so that if you will facing loss, it will be of more amount. So I would suggest to use RSI and stochastic first. The major part is first finding the difference between RSI and stochastics, then we can move on to the difference time, different time frames we need to take, like RSI 14 period, RSI 5 period, also RSI 20, anything it can be. So now we'll be moving to, now I think it's quite clear that why RSI cannot be used in a longer time frame. This is what exactly we need to learn, or why it's not working in longer time frame. If it's in upward trend for a longer period, then it won't work. Am I audible? Okay, okay. Now the second one, it's it's important because we haven't gone to that. It's a different type of indicator. It takes volume into consideration. So that is, okay. You checked SBI and SBI with RSI and stochastics, both are telling you the same thing. Actually, almost in 60-70% of time you will be finding the same thing, overbought and oversold, because the time period we are taking is almost similar. But please try to find in a momentum stock, both in a momentum stock where the trend is upward movement and continuously moving. Or else in the market hour itself, tomorrow I'll be plotting the difference between uh, uh, two things like RSI and stochastics. I'll be telling how it's exactly being, what is the difference between these two. Have you checked it in a daily time frame? There might be a little bit difference in stochastics and RSI, because the formula laid on two indicators are completely different. One takes the highs and lows and the other the gain and losses. One's extreme is from infinity to zero, and the other one's extreme is from it's 0 to 100. Okay, we'll be getting it. Okay, I'll be checking out and posting that in the group itself. So for the time being, we'll be moving to unbalanced volume. And everyone, a small request, everyone do one thing. We'll be comparing stochastics and RSI, and we'll be posting all these charts in the group, and I will be telling what exactly the difference is. It cannot be a difference like RSI showing overbought and stochastic showing oversold. There would be small differences, like the region which I showed continuously. RSI is showing overbought region, but stochastics won't be showing that. So now coming to another indicator, which is on balance volume. It is important just because we know from the day we are into this trading, we know that volume is the driver of the market. It's always being said that volume is the driver. Okay, okay. Please post these charts in group itself. I'll be seeing and replying in the group itself. So, as per unbalanced volume, it takes volume into consideration. And from the day we have started trading, actually the major movement comes from volume itself. Volume is the driver of the market. The main driver of the market is price, then volume comes into consideration. Volume is the driver of the market. uh, from the day we are trading, the major confirmation which we do is from volume itself. If price may be showing a upward trend, a indicator might be showing a upward trend, but everyone asks that please confirm it with volume. Now let's, could not get you, just a minute. Someone asked something, I missed that one. The volume,
Suresh,
yeah.
yeah,
Hello.
Surojit here. So basically, can we consider the price is the primary and the volume is the secondary?
No, no, it's not like that. Volume is secondary. Price is actually the price is what we are looking onto. It's not the driver, but the driver is volume. Is the supply, demand, the volume, and volume exactly we cannot say. Volume increases, that means price increases. The volume is of two types: the selling volume and the buying volume also. So for selling volume, the price decreases. For buying volume, the price increases. So actually, to be clear enough, the volume is not secondary. Volume is actually primary in this. As supply and demand to be considered, volume is the primary thing which is to be seen. This is the only one which drives the market. So now let's understand the term unbalance. What it's trying to say. We'll be learning volume as a special indicator also. So now on balance, what is it suggesting? We'll be going to the math behind this. There are two factors on balance. One is the positive factor and the other one is the negative one. First one is the positive, that is the price. The setup for positive is the price closes above the previous day. So in case of this, when the price closes above the previous day, the formula is OPV is equal to the math behind this on balance volume is extremely simple. It's not like other formulas which are quite complicated. Is previous on balance volume adding to current volume, not on balance volume, current volume. This is in case of bullish. As I said, the price is closed above the previous price. So the formula is OBV is equal to previous OBV plus current volume. Now coming to the second scenario, when it's negative, that is when the price closes above the previous day. No, sorry, the second one is the price closes below, as it's negative. The price closes below the previous day. And now we will be seeing the formula is exactly similar to the positive one, but in case of this, we what we did is OBV is equal to previous on balance volume minus, here we subtracted, in the previous one we added current volume in case of bearish market. So now let's see. This is what the maths behind this. This does not even we do not need to know when it's not working or working. Now just I'll be showing how to plot this one. Plotting is also quite easy on balance volume. It's very simple in every trading platform. So here you can see another one thing again to remind me after covering divergence, as stochastics has a trading setup for divergence, even on balance volume has a trading setup for divergence. So after covering divergence, we will be looking all these indicators which can be traded with divergence, taking consideration with taking divergence into consideration. So here you can see as the volume increases, please focus on the cursor itself. See here the volume is at this level, the volume was at the minimal level and it increases from here. So it increased and the price is also increasing. As the volume increases, the price also starts increasing. Now just I need to do one thing. One more thing to note in case of unbalanced volume is it's how the major part where we need to actually act upon unbalanced volume. See here I was telling to this point to look into. From here itself it started moving upward as volume increases, and on balance volume suggesting the price is also increasing. But can you please see this? It is almost in a range. It's almost showing that yes, volume is in its highest level. It was increasing to a level to till this one and slightly decreased, and here also you can see the stock also slightly decreased. But can you see again it's in same level, volume increased little bit, this increased, and even here also you can find volume is in same level but price is continuously increasing. I want to explain this downfall. Volume was showing a constant level till this one. It was constantly telling that yes, volume is in upper level. And here also the stock was trading in a range. It's only trading in this particular range for almost more than 3 to 4 months. So here suddenly it fell from this level, but volume was constant. So here it comes into play where you can the stock is going down but volume is constant. Can anyone tell what exactly it is suggesting? We are not finding a decrease in volume. A very minor decrease is there. No, as per chart it would be a breakout, but as per considering volume, that people are still unto, like people are still interested in this stock. We cannot predict that this is positive volume or negative volume. We are not taking into consideration that original volume into consideration. That is OBV. OBV is constant. So here comes the divergence to play. Here is a decrease, here it is constant, so there is a divergence created between these two. So it's definitely a buy signal. Why the volume are not decreasing as the stocks are going down? A pure buy signal, and you can see it rose to this level. I will be clearly explaining this part of unbalanced volume after completing divergence, and it is extremely powerful tool using divergence, because without looking into charts also you could find few breakout regions by using divergence. So after completing divergence we will be looking, but these are the trading opportunities which on balance volume gives. When it's in continuously increasing form, you could place a trade and continue to that level, but only volume wouldn't suggest any trade. It's not for trading, it's just for confirmation that yes, this on balance volume is not used for trading, or it's not being used for getting any signal, buy sell signal. It is used for confirmation. This trend is going to that yes, this trend is going to continue for a certain time period, because we are seeing an increase in volume. Yeah, this works for all time frame, but the divergence which I will be explaining, that is for a longer time frame, but increase in volume works for every time frame. You could get when you will be starting using unbalanced volume, after that you would forget the normal volume, the chart which is being plotted in everyone's chart. I think again audio issue. Am I audible now? Again, frequently facing internet problem. Yeah, as per Prabodh sir was telling that as per the psychology, from June to October, the traders are not on a mood to book losses or profit, because it's constantly in the upward region. The trade, you can see that yes, there are volume in that, so traders will be definitely keeping their positions. Someone like a intraday trader would be thinking to exit, but someone who is actually an investor would never uh, cut his like calls from here. I don't know why today there is some issues. Yeah, Rajesh ji suggested a very nice thing. Yes, it is actually a accumulating phase. So volume suggesting a accumulating phase, and price going down, because we are here in the market, we retail investors are here in the market to play as per the smart money. We are not here to go against the smart money. The smart money, the big money in the market, when they start accumulating, they do not like hype anything like yes, it's going to increase, everyone need to buy. They accumulate quite silently. When the price is going down, they are accumulating in that phase also. So that is considered a divergence, and we'll be learning more about that. So today we have completed on balance volume also. Now I think okay, Prabhu sir, you can ask your question. Okay, I missed something like lagging and leading indicator. It's a lagging indicator. No, no, on balance volume in total, you will be seeing the total formation of on balance volume. It's not a positive on balance volume or a negative on balance volume. In the lower region, it is negative on balance volume. The higher region, it is positive on balance volume. So now short covering, all these things actually happens in FNO segments. Actually, if one by one you will be asking, I can answer because I'm getting so many questions.
Sirish, one question here is there any significance of this negative and positive? I know formula changes, but is there any significance of positive and negative on balance volume?
No, no, as such, there is no significance in trading or else like thinking, taking them differently. It's totally implemented in the formula itself, on the unbalanced formula itself. The negative is the lower regions, and the positive is the higher regions. It's not like we'll be going and taking a positive unbalanced volume and negative unbalanced volume. It is the formula which is placed in the backend itself. Again, Rajesh has a question like, what is the midpoint to measure negative factor? Negative factor midpoint cannot be measured as such taking unbalanced volume. It is exactly when it would come lower to this level, this line. We cannot predict a midpoint to that it now it's going this price is going to come down. But if you will be taking a few more charts, you will be knowing that as this part you can see, as it is continuously increasing in volume and the stock price is increasing, you will be finding that in similar way there would be decrease in volume and stock price decreasing. So what I'm thinking is, if everyone is having time, should we go for another indicator? A very simple indicator.
Sirish, before that, I had one question.
Okay.
What's your cutover point in OBV? Just out of curiosity.
What's my? Sorry, sir. Can you?
It is coming down. What is your cutover? Cutover. Like I was asking for midpoint, so there is no midpoint as such. So do you wait till it touches the zero level, or do you take action, or when do you get more cautious when OBV is in the downside moment or
no, like phase? You are exactly asking is when I got my calls. When it when stop loss is hit based on balance volume.
See, basically, how do you use OBV? See, I know with divergence we use it. Now, for example, you have marked a circle there in OBV, so it's an upward movement, so stock price is also moving up.
Yeah.
But suddenly there is also a downward movement, no? I mean, downward facing. So, and again, it starts going up. So, uh, how do you take this into consideration whenever it starts moving down? Do you get little panic, or do you get more cautious because volume is dropping?
No, definitely in this point of time, if you are taking only on balance volume and trading, it is not at all possible. You cannot trade taking on balance volume and you will be trading for a longer period. If at all it is coming down, you need to close that call at that point of itself. That point itself, we can because we are seeing this after being plotted, we can predict that yes, this is what is happened. But let's see this level which is going to happen. So now the volume is in upper region, but if see if this comes to this level down, I cannot say that I will be keeping my calls over here. Being a trader, I will
No, correct.
definitely cut the calls.
Correct, exactly. So I just wanted to know personally, as an expert or experienced trader, what is your threshold there? So how long do you wait, or the moment it starts, do you cut it off? Or I know you mix this with a lot of other indicators.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is only
that
for
that is why it
confirmation.
is difficult to say. Like I cannot cut my call based on unbalanced volume. I will never cut my call based on unbalanced volume.
No, no. Okay, but when do you think it is a confirmation in OBV?
It's like total volume. If like in this case, you see the higher volume was nearly triple four millions. So definitely, as per ratio suggest below 300 levels, I'll definitely cut my calls.
Okay.
The
No,
mid
because
range.
you said okay, because we also understood that this is a lagging indicator,
Yeah,
so this doesn't give real time
yeah,
indication,
that
right?
that doesn't give.
So, okay, okay, got it. Thanks, Sirish.
But it could be in the other way also. If you are cutting the calls at that point of time, but still it could increase. So
Okay, okay,
based on single, so being you being trading from long time, I will never say that based on a single indicator you will be cutting your calls.
correct, correct. I just wanted to know how exactly you put this OBV into use. That's all. So
Okay, okay.
I mean, anyway, this will come later when you explain divergence. That's what you said. So we'll wait for it. Not an issue.
So what I was asking is, should we go for another indicator or please?
Yes, yes, we can.
If others are ready, please just type a yes. I will proceed. Am I audible to everyone? Just need a yes in the chat box so that I can proceed. Okay, okay, okay. So the next one, which should we go? Next one, which let's go for parabolic SAR. It's also a, very interesting indicator. And parabolic SAR is an indicator which actually the mathematics behind the parabolic SAR is the very annoying. It is quite difficult also, but still the indicator works nicely. Parabolic SAR. The full form of SAR is top and reverse. And this one is a trend indicator. It's a trend indicator. It is being developed by, I think, the same person who developed RSI is Wills Wilder, the same developer. Now coming to before moving to parabolic SAR, I need to show this one, that this is how exactly parabolic SAR, when it is being implemented on a chart, it looks in this form, the dots. What I am thinking is, let's discuss how to trade using this. Okay, as we are discussing, let's complete it in full. So you can see the chart here itself, the parabolic SAR at let the steps, these steps are parabolic SAR. You can find dots in many platforms, many trading terminals, but here it's the steps which are being followed. Here it is a upward step, here the downward step is here. You can see the stock is moving down. So before moving to how to trade, let's see two things. Parabolic SAR, as we saw, there are two things in that. One is rising SAR and the other is falling SAR. Now we will be calculating the math behind this. Parabolic SAR takes two things into consideration. One is extreme point and the other is accelerating factor. Now let me discuss. We know first, now we have gone through that there are two things, rising SAR and falling SAR. Now the first factor is EP, that is extreme point. What is actually the extreme point? Is the highest point of the uptrend. It is the highest point of a uptrend. Now if you mark the same thing on the chart, now let's come to the chart itself. Okay, the parabolic SAR EP, it's actually here we are seeing the total parabolic SAR. It's not showing the extreme points over here. So it cannot be marked in a chart, the extreme point. But please remember, extreme point is the highest point of an uptrend. Second one is prior SAR, that is equal to the previous period parabolic SAR. And the third one is, as I said, it's AF, that is acceleration factor. Now let me explain the second one, that is prior SAR. Now when plotting this parabolic SAR, you will be finding it is taking two like this extreme oscillating factors are taken into consideration in the trading platform itself. It will be asking what is your own oscillating factor. As a default, it ranges from, the oscillating factor ranges from 0.02 to maximum 0.2, and it is suggested that not to change this one as exactly the math behind these extreme points is not clear enough. So now let's look under the calculation of SAR. SAR calculation. SAR is equal to, yeah, default setting should be used. It's not can, it should be used. SAR is prior SAR plus prior accelerating factor, which is being multiplied by prior extreme point minus prior SAR. And you can see this calculation is so irritating itself. So here what we get is the oscillating factor increases constantly because of AF increases. Here you can see that if the oscillating factor, as we have said that it should be from 0.02 to 0.2, as this increases, the SAR also increases. So what we can see is, in a parabolic SAR calculation, the parabolic SAR increases. What exactly we are seeing now is that when a parabolic SAR increases, when the AF also increases. So that is why the parabolic SAR also increases with the increase in accelerating factor. So a constant uptrend will give an increase in parabolic SAR. See in the chart here, there is a constant uptrend. So parabolic SAR is also showing a constant uptrend. Now I will tell you how to trade that, but this is the math behind that. A parabolic SAR is actually a very good, again, a momentum indicator. It has few things to note down also in the chart. When I'll be showing how to trade using a parabolic SAR, it can be directly traded also. And the one advantage of parabolic SAR is that you need to look to the candle also, the why the candles are coming down, because looking at the candles may create a panic state, but parabolic SAR does not do like that. Without looking at the candle, you can use parabolic SAR. But for, as per a strategy building, if you are trading for suppose two weeks or 1 month, you need not to worry when a parabolic SAR gives a signal of selling. But I will explain which signal you should take into consideration and which signal you can avoid. So this is exactly used when you are willing to ride a profit and you are not using like you are not cutting your calls. As a general guideline, you cannot place targets using parabolic SAR. It's not even possible with any of indicator placing targets. Targets are open when you trade with parabolic SAR. A parabolic SAR is very effective strategy for short-term traders. Short-term traders in the sense who are trading for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even 1 month, because short-term trade is actually referred to a trade which is almost around 5-6 months to 1 year. So let's see how to act in this. it's quite simple. Let's see from okay, this moment. So exactly at this point of time, it rose like the steps were moving upward. So you cannot take a call from the very first step. You need to wait for at least 3 to 4 steps being formed. So here, after getting into 3 to 4 steps, you will find that constantly it is going upward. See, this would be easily could be seen to your naked eye. Like if you are trading for this is also moving upward, but the inclination of this upward trend and this one is different. So, which things I was telling to avoid is a parabolic SAR steps with almost forming a straight line or little bit vertical lines. These things can be avoided. We need to trade parabolic SAR with these steep. No, we do not need to compare with candles. But if at all you are taking trade, you will be looking after the price actions and the chart patterns. After that, we will be taking trade. But right now, I'm explaining exactly how a parabolic SAR is traded, and please focus on this, how to take a trade on that. See here, you are finding a steep upward movement. So this can be traded from this level. So when you start trading from this level, you see you could ride to up to this level, and here also you saw that it's signaling a downward movement. But as suggested, this downward movement was quite straight. This is not a proper downward movement, but after that it suddenly gave this kind of formation. So here, being a, a trader or not that much of risk taker, here you could cut your calls and book your profits. But this stock even rose to more upward level. So here exactly parabolic SR cannot predict to which level this is going to happen, but it gives signals to trading almost more than 30-40 points. This is why, see, this trend is moving upward. You could take your calls from fourth, fifth level, because see, this is the difference. Almost this difference after 25 points being risen, you are taking the call, and you could write this call to this level. And when this type of formation is being seen, you need to close the call and book your profits. So it's quite simple to use, but the calculation behind this is very difficult. So we have almost completed 6 indicators. What we'll be doing is from Monday, we'll be taking small share sizes and we'll be trading using all these things. We'll trade in the sense uh, without any chart pattern, without any other indicators. The indicators which we have already studied, we will just see how it's been working. A parabolic SR, you cannot trade using a parabolic SR in intraday, because frequently it will be showing a upward movement and a downward movement. So better not to use parabolic SR for day trading. If you are trading for at least 5 to 6 months, then parabolic SR is very much effective, because it takes you with the upward trend or downward trend. So we'll stop here. Next class will be going to learn more indicators. Before that, I'm planning to go for an open interest class. Okay, Rajesh ji is asking, can it be used for confirmation? Yes, in that case, like if you are in a trend, in an upward trend, and parabolic SAR is showing a steep downward movement, then yes, definitely it can be used for a confirmation, and you should close your call at that point itself, because parabolic SAR, almost if the steep of the downfall or the upward trend is quite like 90-degree position, less than like 90-degree, or moving in that region, so it is almost 80% in that success region, that it will definitely fall, the stock is going to definitely fall. Not to consider all these news and other global issues, but as per technicals, it will definitely fall if the strip is quite similar to a 90-degree formation. So I was telling about the class of open interest, but because I'm having an exam, as I said, a psychology exam from Oxford Princeton University. So for that, actually, I'm a little busy, but still I will be trying this week to take that class. So I will discuss few things in the chart itself. If everyone would agree, we would go by that. If someone else would agree to take that class from our stock supervision channel, then I will do that also. So we'll stop here, and please post the charts which you are having doubts, like stock difference between stochastics and RSI, on balance volume also. I will let you know how to trade on balance volume with using divergence after learning divergence. Divergences are also quite that is why, Rajesh sir, exactly that is why I am unable to take that class, because once I start the open interest class, it's definitely going to run for more than 1.5 hour, 2 hours. So it's not even possible in the market hours, or after that also I'm not getting time. Even now also I'm having another session, like offline session I'm having now. Not much of student, only two people are there, but I need to give time to them also. Okay, we'll close the session here. So next, I'll be definitely, this time I'll be sharing before a day or two, that what exactly we are planning out for open interest classes. Thank you. And one more thing, if actually Nishant is also not getting time, so if Nishant could give time, he will be totally focusing on this class only after mid-December. He would be not taking any fundamental classes or any basics or all these things. He will be only covering like what exactly, it's people being asking continuously what exact strategies we are using. That is why he would be only telling all these things, what strategies are being used, how we place stop losses, why, how we use targets, and what are the chart patterns we focus on. All these things will be taken, but please mind one thing, like you need to learn all these basics before moving to that. So whenever at least Nissan tells something, you would catch it quickly. So thank you.